It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be Dry Arabia then, right? It has to be Dry Arabia.
Yep.
It is Dry Arabia. This is game 1, guys. In the bottom, in the blue, it is Leenock playing as the English. His favorite civ, his second favorite civ. I think he favors the Chinese the most. And
to the east, we have Hera playing as the French. And is another one of those English versus French
matchups, which I've seen so many of, actually. And it does, like, in my eye right now, it does seem, in my head, it does seem to favor the English to a large extent, because we have not really seen that many wins for the French.
Yes, but we have a really small sample size, right?
Yeah, but like, it is a competitive sample size, though. It seems like those people are playing very good English games. I think they're able to just take over the matchup very nicely. We had Eric do this, right? We had, like, I think we had Give Anxiety do this as well. I think, generally speaking, this match can be okay. This is a very nice position, by the way, for Hera to defend, though, because he has the gold in the back. He has the wood lines here to kind of resist any archers. You can obviously just kind of even wall it like this, so there is like no access to this at all. You don't need to wall even. You can just even wall this. So there's no, like, here, right?
Yeah, that's a really nice base for Hera. I really like it.
And the deer are split as well, so you can actually just go for one and the other and just kind of spread the attention of your opponent and get them going for yourself. Again, cool stuff.
And for the English, he has really one wood line available for him, right? He has back gold, he has back berries, back stone, so really inaccessible resources for the English if he walls. But first of all, he has to wall, and that's a really long wall for him, right? He has to wall the entirety of the right side of his base. And
I mean, it's enough to build a tower here. I think if you just get a tower, you're basically safe.
Yeah,
this gold is in the back. Yeah, that's fine. So there's no big issue. Like, also, yeah, Leenock is safe. I think this is just you wall this and you're fine.
Sort of safe, but not really, because those knights are gonna be coming from the south, right?
You don't need, honestly, like, you can even wall it like this. You get safe wood line then, and you don't even need to mine gold later. I think Leenock is fine. Like, I don't think it's gonna be, if you play against a skilled English player, it's hard to do damage to them. I think that's just difficult to do damage to them, and that's what you'll probably see here.
See, I think that Leenock's gonna. I mean, I think that Hera's gonna try to do a little bit of damage if he scouts some vulnerabilities in his opponent, right? But let's see how much of that actually. Gonna pay off.
I think two very short walls here would be very good if you are getting raided, of course. But I don't think Leenock is planning on getting raided, to be honest. You see this kind of classic, like, you get 3 villages on gold. Once they finish mining, like, once you get enough food, you just send those towards the council hall, and then you just go aggressive. I think that's kind of going to give you the best kind of propeller into the kind of latter stages of the game, to the feudal aggression, which is kind of the name of the game, this matchup.
And we see how well Hera defends his gold, because that's gonna be the main objective of Leenock, to get Hera off that gold, right?
Yeah.
And Hera does not have a back gold, really. He has the secondary gold right next to that another gold. Look at this. One single tower denying every single resource right next to him, right? And the only other gold that Hera has is in the corner, in the, like, northern corner of the map. That's 2 golds, and that's about it. But it can be, I think, really easily scouted.
It's gonna be scary. It's gonna be scary initially, I think, for Hera as those archers start going across the map, because then it's just going to be a very big test for, you know, how well you can trade. Because again, like, if you are able to repel the English once, I think you're good. But if you take, like, an unfavorable trade L, you're just screwed for the rest of the game, because you just scramble for control, just like Vortex did against Eric.
Exactly.
Also, Hera beat it, but Hera did beat Jesus, the Muslim, which means that Hera is in a very good shape right now. I think he's in a very good shape. So I guess I would wager he has a very good chance, a very good shot at winning this very opening game in this series.
Let me see which matchups did Hera win against the Muslim, because you can actually see it. So
yeah.
Wait, give me a second. So where is Hera? Hera was playing Mongol Mirror first game, and then HRE Mirror second game. And
both won. Both. That's cute, actually. HRE Mirror and Mongol Mirror, that's not something that you generally speaking see. I think, like, people assume that the other person is not gonna ban Mongols, and the other person does the same, and they just force into playing Mongols then. I think that's how it essentially goes.
I'm
And we
just
see
looking at
actually
the,
that's a very different approach from Leenock. Leenock is gonna immediately send 2 villagers, not 1, 2. He has been. I think Leenock is one of those people who have been doing this consistently, not sending 1 vill but 2, to make sure that like he doesn't derp and lose the push. So even if he derps now, he's gonna be safe, relatively safe anyway, to just do some damage with those towers. I think he knows where he's gonna go for. He's just gonna try to deny this gold. Unless he's gonna go towards that wood line. That's also quite a nice opening, because of course you deny the archer production, which is also quite huge. And yeah, depriving your opponent of wood means that they're essentially like kind of in a lot of trouble. There are no safe wood lines for Hera, so if you get this one under control, you're getting a nice advantage for yourself. Hera opened with Horseman though, which is weird.
Absolutely, Mike. I've been looking at the ladder so far, and there has been 0 games going to the French in the French versus English matchup. Every single game that was played, French versus English, the English won. So it's, I think, at the moment quite one-sided when it
in
comes
the tournament
to
meta, you mean, right?
Yes.
In the tournament. You see also Leenock actually walling this nicely, so he's actually gonna probably do the game
never mind. Never mind. Doubt actually.
Oh, look at this!
won.
So reinforcements are getting picked off. So those 3 horsemen taking over, 2 archers gone already. It's kind of nice actually. So Hera knows what he's doing. So he's gonna be very annoying with those horsemen, trying to stop the trickling reinforcements. He could have probably picked up this archer too.
He didn't see it. The horsemen have really low.
Line of sight, which is weird. I think they should at least have that benefit, right? There should be like kind of a compromise between a knight and a scout in a large way.
Yeah, actually, Probe won against Doubt in English versus French. So
cool.
It's not as one-sided, but I think I've seen like 5 games in this tournament already, and every single one of them, except for maybe that one, have gotten to the English.
Now we are actually watching this single villager trying to build a house and completely fail. I'm not really sure why. I guess he's trying to gain some line of sight here, but he already has a single house here, so he doesn't need 2. So those horses, actually, this is a nice force from Hera trying to actually just somehow corner those archers of Leenock. They're going to be cornered indeed, and it is going to be a very nice, favorable trade for Hera. I think Hera is actually going to get this fight. Like, there's almost a complete cleanup here. Leenock doesn't have stone yet. He actually gets enough right now. And Hera is going to try to contest this tower. I don't think he has enough,
He cannot kill this tower. Not yet.
I mean,
he would need
actually,
like 5 more horsemen, I think.
He can auto cancel if he wants to, but he doesn't do this. I'm not sure why he doesn't auto cancel here.
That's not worth it to sit under
now
this
he
tower.
starts. No.
Oh no. Oh no.
And Leenock knows that I think he has enough time to just walk these units across, but so does Hera. So Hera recognizes there is going to be some small force coming across. I think these horsemen actually comfortably take down this tower. There's more coming in as well. So Hera not getting nice at all. He's just gonna focus on pure horsemen, and I think this is actually quite a decent situation. But he's gonna get cornered up. Those are mostly spearmen. I think Leenock is screwed. I think Leenock is honestly just screwed.
I think he got the value from this tower though.
Yeah.
Like oh no, that was 30 villagers. Never mind. I thought there's just 1 villager making the tower. He's looking as well.
Yeah.
Oh no. And now he's bleeding spearmen into this massive archers.
So 2 villagers dead. Good. The push repelled.
Yeah.
The French have a magnificent army actually. They have a large force here pushing into the English. I'm not really sure what the English can do right now. I mean, yes, you can play defensively, but that's your best bet. And I'm not really sure if English win a defense play against the French. The French can actually go up to castle. I think that's what Hera is doing. He's not getting knights. So
Hera has not made a single knight in this game, by the way.
Yeah, I think that's a cool choice.
Just horsemen. Yeah.
Because that's the timing, right? You just kind of catch your opponent off guard with those horsemen early, because they're useless if there's like a critical mass of spears. But early on, I think it was just a very nice move. You were wrong about the tower, by the way, right? Because he could definitely take it out with those 3 horsemen. Because now they have the extra PS armor,
Mike.
So
Oh yeah, exactly. Before that trade for like fully garrisoned tower against the horsemen was really bad, because those horsemen were dying like flies. Right now, ooh.
I mean, you have to say also he killed 2 villagers, so it was worth inherently for those 2 vills inside, even if you had to lose some additional horsemen even.
And now Leenock's gonna lose a few vills. At least 1 of those gold.
No. 2 committed, but he's too committed. Yeah, he doesn't get that.
He's committed, but he still lost 2 horsemen to that almost.
Yeah. And the villager did die actually. Oh no, I think it was a spear. It must have been like a spear or an archer actually. I think. So it's 29 villagers to 35. Yeah, that's actually a nice advantage for Hera. For Hera. So Hera is building up the villager count. He is working with a nice army I think he's gonna go up to castle looking at the resources, right? He's not spending anything. Leenock is really far off from the castle age up.
Absolutely, yes. He has to make those numbers, right? He cannot fall behind as English.
No. The problem is, like, obviously, I think Hera doesn't want to trade too hard here. Like, Hera he's running these units in. I'm not really sure if that's... Look at how funny this animation is for the archer falling against the cavalry, but... You see, actually, those horsemen not trading that bad against those archers, but Hera does lose this fight.
Absolutely.
So I'm really not sure if he had to be doing this. I think he must have just kind of valued his own forces, or he was just overconfident at least.
Or he was just trying to get the most out of them and just get some... I think that's gonna be double blacksmith. Wait, no?
No, that also forces Hera to kind of delay his age up a bit, right? He can't just go tech up, because then I think he risks just directly dying to Leenock's
that's a guild hall,
attack.
Yeah, that's a guild hall and that's a blacksmith. So I think it's gonna be like man at arms, maybe.
No, Hera's not aging up yet. No. He still needs 200
no,
food.
it's not. So it was a double. No, it's a stable blacksmith.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
So he's gonna be getting knights. I think just preemptively he's gonna go up now, right, as well. He's gonna have enough to just go up and just kind of play it out from castle age up, which is huge for him, of course. He's gonna, where is he dropping that? Actually, in the very back somewhere? Here.
Right next to
CC, yeah.
And that's a guild hall, of course.
He has a bunch of resources now. He can start getting the upgrades, he can produce knights. He has a very comfortable economy. Like, what this means for Leenock is that he has like a very short window of time where he can still fight Hera. Because when the veteran knights and veteran archers appear now, I don't think there's even a number of spears that can hold this. I don't believe that to be the case at all. I think that Leenock is kind of doing this last-ditch effort, a Hail Mary, if you will. If he doesn't get anything done with this small push, I think he's just dead.
Absolutely. And what he can do is maybe snipe some vills, but that's about it, right?
Yeah.
There's a tower on those deer, and Leenock doesn't have enough spears to actually kill this tower. So maybe he can get a few picks, but that's about it.
Yeah.
He is gonna place the tower again and maybe force Hera from that wood line. Actually, Hera doesn't have any other wood lines, to be honest, so...
yeah, that's the problem, right? I mean, there is one over here that is kind of defended by the tower. I'm not sure what Leenock is working with in terms of, like, the... He has no money for rams. He has no ram technology. I'm not really sure what's going to happen when Hera hits castle. You have to just go around at least. You have to build a gate here. And you have to try to do something. I mean, like, anything, really, if you're Leenock right now. Because you cannot just allow this game to continue at this pace. Because if you do, then you just lose it immediately. And there's a tower here. It's not like you can just build another tower if you're Leenock, right? It's just not going to go.
Yeah, he's going to see this
He doesn't see it yet. He sees it now, I think. There's a knight inside as well. And Hera goes up. I think that's kind of the go-go signal for Leenock. You either win this now or you just give up and just kind of quit.
Absolutely, and the bill's going down, so there's going to be even less potential for those extra towers.
Yeah, so Leenock deletes the wall, which I don't really like, because you can actually use the wall still if you have a gate in it, right? Because you can just kind of use it to kite around any cavalry.
Absolutely, and we see those royal knights just going behind those archers, right? And I think he's gonna dive the eco. I think he's going for the eco of Leenock. He's not gonna be interested in fighting those. Yeah, he's going for the eco.
It's a possibility. Yeah, so Hera's still working like kind of inferior numbers. Like, he doesn't have that many units. He doesn't have the elite upgrade yet either. I don't think he's getting that, right? He needs kind of some more time. So that's kind of the scary point.
Mike, keep in mind that every single unit that Leenock has in here, he doesn't have at home, and those knights are heading straight for the heart of Leenock. They're gonna be raiding that wood line really, really soon, and there's literally no answer there.
That's the veteran upgrade done. So I think Hera has a very good position right now. He needs the veteran archers. I'm kind of selecting all his infrastructure. I don't see those upgrades coming in. But yeah, Hera does have it, so he's gonna have to walk all the way around. I think it's kind of nice chopping from Leenock. But I don't think it saves him, right? I don't think it saves him from those knights. I really want to see how much damage they do. So, 3 of them actually going into the wood line, 2 villagers falling immediately, and there's also a knight against the gold. But those knights can actually pivot towards that, towards those resources here. There's a big fight over here breaking out as well. So you see those archers of Leenock fighting against the knight over here. Like, they don't do any damage to the knight, man. They took like 4 volleys to take half of the HP of the 2 units.
That's 5 volleys.
And that's a villager massacre, by the way. So those knights are actually disposing of those villagers left, right, and center.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of damage. And Leenock hasn't done anything here. Literally, Leenock has not done any damage. Hera with 50 villages. Really safe, by the way. 37 for the English. And the tier advantage as well on top of things. Leenock is trying to age up. He has the resources, but I think it's too little too late. It is just going to be those knights just kind of... And the archers streaming across the map, just kind of trying to do even more damage, even more harm. And I do not believe there is like any good answer in Leenock's book right now. Leenock is actually going to go towards the eco of Hera. But honestly, there are towers everywhere. So if you walk close, you just start bleeding out archers. And you are already behind, so...
And Hera is fully aware of that Leenock cannot deal any damage at home. At his base, right? He can run to that wood line, but there are no villagers. He already moved them. There's nothing Leenock can do. And what he can do is raid him to death. And that's exactly what he's going to do. And exactly what he has been doing for the last couple minutes, actually.
Yeah, and Leenock is again forced away from getting the tier upgrade, because I guess he would love to have a keep somewhere here, but he's just not going to be allowed the luxury of getting that. And you can see those archers just kind of killing even more villagers, like trading favorably. It's just everything going in favor of Hera right now. So that was a very good call, and obviously the map layout was favoring Hera a bit. But still, I really do love it from her. Like how well he approached this matchup is just immaculate almost.
Absolutely, and the main thing about Hera's play was that he didn't actually use any of that gold, right? He was just using the horsemen and the archers. So even if Leenock forced him away from his gold, that wouldn't mean anything to Hera.
Yeah, but Hera's gonna lose those archers right now, so that's... I think Leenock is
but those archers don't
it.
really matter, do they? Because that's a veteran Royal Knight. They have 6 armor. Correct me if I'm wrong. No, 5 at the moment.
They should have 6, I think, in the end. Like once this kicks in, right?
So those Longmen are gonna be dealing 2 damage right now and 1 damage per shot
with the upgrade on,
Royal Knight. So until he gets that veteran Longwoman, those Royal Knights are gonna be unstoppable. Even
I agree. I think Hera's just done it, right? He just managed to defend this as the French very nicely. And Leenock is just gonna, even like despite his mastery on the civ, I think it's just not enough yet. I think he just needed to do things differently, maybe contest the gold. But then Hera didn't want the gold at all. He just wanted Horsemen, which I think that was the turnaround this game. Actually, there are also veteran archers right now streaming through, so Hera doesn't have that chivalry. So he's just gonna have the whole damage stay on those knights, but I think he doesn't mind. He's just gonna take the fight. Because with these numbers of knights, I think you can just dive the TC, essentially. You can just dive the TC quite easily as well.
Absolutely, or just dive the wound line and deal even more damage to his opponent.
He loses a knight for nothing, and second round takes a lot of damage. It's not too easy, actually. It's not that easy for... And Leenock is gonna go up. Leenock is gonna get a second TC here somewhere. He needs the King's Palace, because he's behind in terms of the villager numbers, so he needs to actually get that. He's holding. He's gonna hold.
Absolutely. I don't think that Hera can do any more damage to Leenock right now, because all of them. No, but Leenock's armies are in place, right, to defend. So unless he splits in 2 and maybe separates the Longwoman from the eco, then maybe like a second batch of knights can do some damage. But
I mean, I'm gonna tell you one thing. If you're French, if you have eco advantage, you can just trade knights for villages. 1 for 1 is enough. So if you just kind of keep attacking, if you're stubborn, I think you win the game, because you're just kind of going to overtake. Even with the double production for Leenock, Leenock is severely behind still. It's like 20 villager of difference. And I think you can just fight. I think you can just fight.
Check up the knights.
He got the upgrade as he has +2. He has +2 range defense.
Okay, so right now those Longbow are not dealing any damage to those knights. Look at this, 0 damage, literally.
And this is actually very nice kind of cold, like sandwich maneuver from Hera. He's getting those spearmen kind of in here, just pin them down. All of them actually are gonna go down. And those veteran longbows are just probably not gonna do enough. Leenock is just kind of stuck with nothing. And as I said, Hera can just live under his TC at this point. He can just kind of clean up everything and anything he wishes. And Leenock has nothing to do. Like, those villages are not... He doesn't even have to garrison those even, right? So there's like actually triple barracks, but this is too little too late. Again, there's just too little forces, too few units. Those veteran spearmen just not enough again to deal with those knights, and that's just gonna be it. I think Leenock is just dead. Hera is again idling the entire economy of his opponent, by the way, so it's again huge. Those knights charging in, by the way, are going to dispose of those archers too. it's a huge advantage for Hera, and Hera is just going to take this game immediately. I think there's nothing that Leenock can do. You can try to be fancy with your micro, but I don't think there's enough in the world to save you.
No amount of micro is gonna help against 5 knights in your face. Sorry, 10 knights in your face. Under your TC, just diving your villagers right as they pop out.
No, even parting level micro is just not sufficient.
Yeah. Look at that TC doing 0 damage that night. Like, whole volley is doing nothing.
Yeah. And Leenock is just done for. He leaves.
Even though that was an English TC, not enough against a full upgraded Royal Knight.
True.
So that's a French victory in this matchup, which is really, really favoring the English.
Which we really wanted to see, by the way. We really wanted to see the English just kind of show that, you know, the French still show that they can win this, right? Which is exactly the case. Hera are leading the series 1-0. Hera is on fire today, man. Hera is absolutely on fire today. That was a magnificent game from him.
Absolutely. And he disposed of the Muslim earlier, so really, really promising.
Yeah, looking good. No shit, he's looking super solid. So, we're gonna wait for the next match to start now. Hera is looking very decisive so far. Like, Leenock is... I think it was just very sharp build, like, from Hera that took him where he was. Like, lots of Horsemen actually very early on is just going to be brutal against those kind of very few spears and those archers. So, very nicely done. But you really need to be very sharp with the time, because if you mistime those Horsemen, you essentially just don't have enough to win.
Absolutely, and those Horsemen actually picking up the reinforcements on the way to...
Yeah. Starting the push even further.